Regional team play summary. Team Arab hates Iran, hates Team Iran, and really hates the spread of Iranian influence. Not so much that they hate Shias, that it's Sunnis versus Shias. I've tried to express that multiple times. But it's more that they don't like the Iranian push for theocracy, for the overthrow of Arab governments to implement a system that Iran implemented. And Team Iran hates Team Arab for all the reasons we've already talked about too. Team Israel also hates Team Iran for the existential thing. Team Arab and Team Israel have an unspoken alliance about this. Yeah. As we've referenced, I believe, in a story or two, when Israel came out just last week and said, oh, by the way, we might bomb Iranian nuclear facilities because we are not going to allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon, most Arab leaders kind of went, again, you're starting to understand how the real world works here? So they have an unspoken, uneasy alliance between Team Israel and Team Arab about the Iranian thing, because everybody hates Iran. But they still are not happy with each other over the Palestinian thing. And, of course, now Team Turk is pissed off at Israel about the Gaza Strip Palestinian thing. Got it? Team West also hates Iran. The summary is just about hating, I guess. Team West also hates Iran because the U.S. in particular, being the leader of Team West, is strong allies of Israel and strong allies of the Arab world. I should say the Arab leaders specifically, but the Arab world in general. And therefore is very worried about Iranian anything that have to do with their allies in the region. Team Russia / Team China has relations with Iran and Syria. I also failed to mention that Russia has a relationship with Syria, similar relationship with Syria as it did with Iran. And mostly want to do business. Both China and Russia are more business-oriented and investment-oriented, so they want to block any kind of major embargoes or extreme punishments of Iran, although they don't necessarily want to get in bed with Iran. Remember that talk we did about the SCO a while back, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Iran would love to get in that group as some sort of security blanket it could wrap around itself that, oh, Russia and China will protect us. But Russia and China ain't letting them in the SCO because Russia and China, while they want to do business, they're not going to defend Iran. They're not going to run in there and start help Iran out with World War III. So Russia and China are treading very lightly on the Iranian issue because they have to. Team Turk is a respected middleman and deals with all parties, even though its relationship with Israel is on the outs right now. That's only a year and a half old kind of bad blood, and it's very likely that their relationship will be mended soon. If they can get over the Gaza Strip embargo deal, if Israel can, then the relationship with Turkey will probably blossom again. Because as I referenced, it was Turkey that was actually pushing for peace talks between Syria and Israel long before any of the Arab Spring nonsense blew up. I should say nonsense, the awesome Arab Spring stuff that cropped up and is changing the equation of everything. Team terrorist / Team Hezbollah, Team Fatah, Team Hamas, Team Al-Qaeda. They all have their own specific agendas depending upon who they are, where they are, what they're fighting for. It's all fine and dandy to call Hamas a terrorist organization, which the U.S. does. To me, it's problematic because they would say, well, hey, we're rebels. We're trying to fight a war for land. Terrorist organization, in my mind, is like Al-Qaeda. That's like, oh no, we just want to kill people. We want to kill people for some sort of greater political aim on planet Earth. That's why Hezbollah is right on the line. Because what does Hezbollah want? Who knows? The destruction of Israel is what they talk about. Do they want to do something more than that? I don't know. Hamas is more of Hamas is more of a political entity than it is a terrorist organization. Al-Qaeda is a full-on terrorist organization. They just want to blow up everything. They want to kill everything that's not hardcore Islamic extremist, and they're not interested in their own governments having power unless they're a theocracy, and they're not interested in any foreign invaders or any outsiders having power either. Their mission is quite clear: kill everybody that doesn't exactly agree with them. The Hezbollah and Hamas entities, they're a little different. It's like, okay, what are they fighting for? You need to figure that out. And that depends on what they are and who they're fighting for. And all teams on planet Earth want to keep the oil flowing. Maybe that's not the best way to end, but it's kind of true. Everybody wants to keep the oil flowing, even though they might eventually all blow each other up trying. Dig that? I would also throw into this another little monkey wrench that Iran has a tremendous amount of power here, in that whether it gets a nuclear weapon or not, if enough entities start messing with Iran, and I'm talking conventional warfare, the United States were to invade, which is never going to happen, by the way, or if Saudi Arabia were to strike, Iran has a tremendous power in that it has a lot of coastline on the Persian Gulf. A lot of coastline. Go look at a map. Wait a minute. Here's one. They have a lot of coastline on the Persian Gulf. All of the oil of this area flows out of that place right there. If Iran gets pissed off enough, overnight, in 1 second, they could drop like 1,000 landmines or floating sea mines in the Persian Gulf and virtually stop the world flow of oil. That is something to consider. I'm not suggesting I want them to do that. I'm not suggesting I even want them to think about doing that. I'm suggesting they could. So while we can easily sit back and armchair philosophize about this and be like, oh, well, Iran's never going to do anything because maybe the U.S. will invade or Israel's going to bomb them and that'll be that. I mean, hey, they ain't going to get no nuke. It's like, dudes, you got to think about this. They are in a particular position as a major oil producer, but more importantly, their geographic position puts them in a place that they can very, very, very easily affect worldwide energy flows at any given second they want to. Keep that in mind, any second. Would they suffer repercussions? Absolutely. But they could put a battleship or two in the water in the Persian Gulf and just start launching shit at people, and that will make the price of oil go from $100 a barrel to $1,000 a barrel within 1 hour, and they know that. And so does everybody else. So that's why the world is involved in the Middle East, whether it wants to be or not. That's why the world watches. That's why the world plays particular parts in this drama of who they support and who they don't support and who they're arming and who they want to stop from arming. That's why the Middle East is such a complicated region and why it affects all of us all the time. Even issues like the Israeli-Palestinian thing, which we would say, oh, I don't care. I don't care about that. You know, there's no oil there. There's no oil in Israel or in the Gaza Strip, so who cares? Let them fight it out. Let them do whatever they want. I'm over here in America. It doesn't affect me. It does. I hope for all the reasons I've now talked about, all of these entities and powers and power struggles are interwoven into themselves. And you can't now pull it apart. There ain't no oil industry that does not involve all the political, social conflicts and upheavals that are occurring in this particular part of the world. And yes, the Palestinian-Israeli thing is one of the core issues that everybody sided up about, that everybody still frets about, that everybody may eventually fight about in this region that will then affect the entire planet, whether you like it or not. Dig? Okay, that's all I got then for the Team Power Player Summary.